Let's talk about the real estate market for 2025 and some predictions that I'm seeing, other people are seeing, and trends that we might see this year in the market. Hey, I'm Nana. I have been in real estate for over 15 years. I've been a former practicing real estate attorney, wholesaler, Airbnb host, but now I focus on long-term rentals because I like to lazy invest and I just want to have cash flow every single month. And with that, I share all the things that I know and everything I'm doing along my journey here on this channel. And if you're interested in learning how to get guaranteed rent checks every single month with Section 8 investing without having to deal with bad tenants, go ahead and check the free Section 8 Quick Start Guide that I have in my description box below to learn how to quickly get yourself up and running ASAP. So obviously, from my background, you know I love all things real estate. I've been in and out of the industry for the last couple of years, and I think it is a great way to build wealth. And one of the things that makes real estate so powerful is that the average homeowner in the US or property owner has close to around $300,000 in equity in their property. And this is, average based off of low, high properties across the country. But that is more than a lot of people have in their retirement accounts. And so having access to that kind of capital can really change your life. So let's talk about some of the things that are going to happen in real estate this year, possibly, because I'm not a genie, I don't know. Let's talk about the past. Over the last couple years, it's been quite a roller coaster in real estate. After the 2008 financial crisis, interest rates were super low for like a decade because the government was basically trying to get people to start buying again. So for a long time, interest rates were between 3 and 5%. It's like those were the glory days, right? But fast forward after the pandemic, and you guys were all there, the interest rates have shot up over the last few years as high as 8%. So that has sucked because it has made it more expensive for a lot of people to actually get into real estate or buy their next property. And so there's been a really high demand but low supply because people are not necessarily selling or people can't buy. But the good news is, as of the end of last year, interest rates have started to slowly but surely come down. So this makes 2025 a really great opportunity for real estate investors. And that's the big one when it comes to what we're gonna see this year, is that interest rates are lower right now. They're heading towards 5%. They're kind of around the 6% mark right now. But the nice thing is, once they get to that 5% range, that is when it becomes less expensive to own real estate than to rent. And once we see that, you're gonna see a lot more people getting into the market, a lot more people starting to buy, and there's hopefully going to be a better environment for buyers. This would also increase demand because people have been sitting on the sidelines because of these high interest rates. So that is going to increase the activity in the market as well. Another reason why it might be a good time to get into real estate now is for market appreciation. So this market has been pretty volatile over the last couple of years. So, the saying goes, you don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and wait. So if you were to get in now, in a year or two, 3 years, 5 years, generally speaking, over time, you are going to be locking in that appreciation, that equity. So let's say you bought at $300,000 today, and in 2 years, it's worth $350 or $450, all that money, you've got that equity, that appreciation because you bought now. And this is good for us as real estate investors as well, because even though the interest rate can oftentimes affect your cash flow, regardless of when you buy, whether the interest rate is high or low, you are still going to get that appreciation. So whether you're a fixer flipper or a long-term rental investor, you are still gonna get that appreciation. And for me, the way that I like to invest, I want both. I want both cash flow and appreciation. So those are the type of properties that I'm looking at. I don't want something that's only going to get appreciation, but it's gonna be poo-poo when it comes to cash flow. But at the same time, I don't want something that, it's great, the interest rate was great, it cash flowed, but it's gonna stay the same value for the next 5-10 years. No, I want to see in 5-10 years that I've made a good amount of money in terms of the value of this property. As an investor, this could also be a good time to possibly upgrade. So maybe if you have a property that hasn't been performing so well, but you've been waiting on the sidelines until the interest rates came down, this could be a good time to cash in on that not so hot property that you have and invest in something that's going to perform better for you in the long run. Now let's talk about the housing inventory. This is where it's not so great right now. The demand is really high and the supply is still very low. Right now we have about 4.5 months worth of supply on the market. That means if it would take about 4.5 months to sell, get everything sold. But in a healthy, more balanced market, it should be around like 5-6 months of supply. So even though that number has improved from the previous years, it's still not great. In the US, the shortage of homes is over 3 million homes that we are short, that we actually need to build. And it would take about like 10 years to actually get to that number. So that sucks overall, but as an investor, it does show that the demand for real estate is going to continue to increase. So it is a great way to build wealth. So your goal is to get in now so that you can be the supply, right? You don't want to necessarily always be the demand, you want to be the supply. And this is going to be a wealth builder for you in the now as well as in the future. All right, so what should you do? What should your game plan be right now? I'm recording this video in January, mid-January 2025. So what you wanna do is if you are looking to get into the market or buy your next property, now is really a good time before it really gets into the spring market when the rent rates could be even further below. Now again, we have a new administration and a lot is happening, so who knows what things will actually be like, but generally speaking, the spring is always going to have more competition, more buyers in the market. So now would be a good time to kind of get yourself out there and start looking for the properties that you want to pick up. And if you're a first-time home buyer, the same goes for you. You want to start looking at properties and lock in the rates that we have now while they're manageable compared to what they were in the future, because if rates drop even further, you can always refinance to lock in those lower rates, but at least you have the property at the price point that you wanted or at the price point you could get today versus the one you're going to get in a couple months or a couple years. Now, if you know you really want to leverage real estate to increase your wealth and you don't want to have to chase tenants every single month, hoping and praying that they're going to actually pay you on time so you can cover your mortgage and have some cash flow income coming in and start building wealth, go ahead and check out my free Section 8 Quick Start Guide in the description below to learn how to invest successfully in Section 8 real estate today. For investors, you want to look at markets where the rents outpace the mortgages, because cash flow is king, but long-term appreciation is really where you start to build wealth. So that's gonna help you there. All right, now comment down below if you have any other predictions that you see coming in this year, especially with the new administration that's come in. What do you think is gonna happen in the market? Because like I said, I am not a prophet, I'm not a genie. These are just the things that I see could potentially be happening, but I would love to know what your thoughts are. So add your thoughts in the comments below and go ahead and check out this next video here, because when you pair it with this one, you are gonna be even further along on your real estate journey to wealth, okay?